Hey besties, do we have tea for you? Specifically, Orlando content creator tea.
If you guys only knew what happened behind the scenes, it's crazy and we're here to tell it all.
And ever since becoming more involved as a official content creator, we say that because now we're technically getting a part-time salary from being content creators, so we can call ourselves content creators, okay? But being more involved in the scene, I feel like there's a lot more that we hear about. Also living here, making friends with people. There's a lot of stories through the pipeline and through a person who's heard of a person's interaction, which may not be 100% true by the time it goes down the tunnel. There's so much tea and gossip and drama. And we found out through living here that there is a subreddit called Blog Snark, which you can go look up yourself. And that's essentially a place where anybody and everybody is free to post all of their opinions, whatever they want about creators, but also Blog Snark has different channels. So they have one specific for book talk or something. They have one specific for finance creators. They have like just everyday stuff or like lifestyle stuff. And people can post about creators or something that bugs them or just like about a trend, literally about anything and anything. But there's a specific channel for Disney, Universal, Orlando content creators. So that's what we're going to be focusing on.
Which the fact that there's an entire thread for Disney and Orlando content creators just shows you how much people have to say about creators here and how much is happening that we may not even realize is happening, but clearly people are noticing. So we're going to go through them and kind of give you guys our opinions on what these snarks are saying. I will also say, because anybody can go on here and post their thoughts, not every snark is real. Some of them are super petty and childish, I'll say, but we're going to give you guys our opinions on these snarks and what people are saying about the Orlando community. And if we have any background tidbits that we know of, we will let you guys know.
And also, this is just your friendly reminder that if you hate a certain content creator or you don't like their content or you perceive them a certain way or you don't like how they edit stuff, the option is always there to unfollow and to block them so you don't see their stuff. So at the end of the day, some of these snarks are hating so hard on creators, but they're still watching their stuff. So, the option's always there. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, you can just scroll. And so to give you guys a little bit of a background on why you should even be listening to us or care about us, like Timea said earlier, we are both what we say part-time content creators now that we're officially getting some money out of our content. I started posting on mainly TikTok, I want to say 3 years ago now. It's been a minute, but I just recently hit that 10K mark. I'm also on Instagram and YouTube at Shaneck if you want to look me up. But I post all Orlando stuff, not just theme parks. I'll post about things to do, places to eat, places to hang out, where to shop. And so as I've gotten into making this like a real part-time gig, I have started to get invited to a lot of different things. And that's where we're also meeting a lot of these other content creators and why now that we're a little bit more integrated into the community, I just have some opinions. So I'm here to tell those opinions.
As you should, bestie. Freedom of speech. And then a little background on me. So I moved to Orlando because I love the theme parks. The theme parks have been a part of my life for a really long time. I was mainly posting on YouTube and then really started to kick up TikTok last year at Timea Smiles. Timea Smiles, in case you find me. And definitely, by the way, like if you have any snark or gossip or things you want to talk about, please DM us on any of our platforms because we'd love to have like little anonymous tips. I kind of want to figure out a way to do that. And we also are going to have guests on here who have some snark or things they want to talk about. We have a few already coming, so stay tuned for that. But if you have anything, just DM us on any of those channels. But last year, unfortunately, I got laid off my job with literally no notice. And so I obviously was crying like all day and I went to Animal Kingdom because it thought it would make me happy. And I decided to post a TikTok. And then I thought, how fun would it be if I started a challenge or like a race with myself to essentially try to find a full-time job, but also at the same time, try to become a full-time content creator and then just see which one wins and see if that's something that I'm even able to do. And this was just motivation for me, honestly, to like not give up and not go depresso espresso into a cave, but also to try to see if it's something I can actually do, because it is obviously a goal to be a full-time content creator. It always has, always will be. And at the same time, I was also applying for jobs. So it wasn't that I just like paused the job thing, because your girl was living off her savings and I didn't want to deplete that completely. So we were still actively applying for jobs on the side. And I started this series, and I was so lucky that it got the attention of a lot of people and it kind of blew up, and so many people were kind of in the same boat. So there was a lot of support back and forth, which is something I really needed. So I was so grateful for that. And kind of through that, I started gaining some followers, and then I transitioned that into HHN, which started up. And because I didn't have a job, I literally went to Halloween Horror Nights every single night. I did, like, just for clarity, I did buy my pass to HHN before I got laid off, but then I upgraded it with the money I got from TikTok videos so that I could go more, so I could make more content. Now I think I'm at 44K on TikTok, which is so insane and really, really exciting. And so I definitely am making a part-time living from TikTok, and hopefully in the future from YouTube as well. But essentially with that, I kind of got sucked into some drama last year, and some crazy, crazy things happened to me personally, which I try to steer clear of that stuff, but unfortunately it was somebody like targeting me. So I'll get into like a full story time probably later on in like the next coming weeks, because I don't want to start with that. But I definitely have tea for myself, and also just being around a ton of people, I really noticed that there's a ton of drama and gossip in the Disney niche specifically, more than Universal, I think, for content creators. But it's so crazy how much there is in such a small niche that like there's a whole subreddit for it. We're going to start at the top, but I will say we're not going to say names. We're just going to call them the creator. So they're not like, and we don't really want to call people out, but we want to read the post. So just, I'm going to call them the creator. So first one is, how the F does this creator always get gifted from companies? I've almost never seen her promote half the stuff she receives.
This one's interesting because, one, why do we care if creators are getting gifted? I mean, I know there's like a lot of discourse of people saying, oh, if they can pay for it themselves, they shouldn't get gifted it. But this is a way for companies to advertise their stuff. And when it comes to PR, there's two different things, right? So you can get gifted an item with the idea that you're going to be posting it. And that's something that you speak with the brand with before. And they'll tell you this when they send you stuff. But then there's also just PR that brands can send you. And those you do not technically have to post. If there's no commitment, you don't have to post it at all. And so a lot of creators will say yes to receiving these things so that they can try it out. And if they like it, they'll post it. But if they don't, then they don't have to post it. And there was no commitment with the brand. So honestly, this one seems a little bit of like a petty snark to me, because again, why do we care so much if people are getting gifted things? I don't know.
And the brand is fully aware. So I'm on a PR list or two, and I have never been told by the brand that I need to post their PR stuff that they send over. So I think that the brand fully knows that if they're sending a PR package and there's no commitment beforehand, no discussion beforehand, that the creator isn't obligated to post it.
You'll also see a lot of creators won't post this PR because if it is a gifted collab, which is like that first thing that I talked about where you get the item and then you have to post about it, creators have to pay tax on all of those items that they receive. That's considered taxable income. So a lot of creators just also don't like to receive free gifted PR that they have to post, because they don't want to have to pay to essentially promote a brand.
And I'm not too far into, like, I'm not deep enough to know exactly how these companies are getting their like PO boxes or their addresses. I'm assuming from their agents, or the agency that they're with will just like give out their PO box to brands that want to send them PR, or maybe consult with the creator beforehand. But I'm assuming that if multiple brands get a hold of your PO box and they're just sending you stuff, you know, just in hopes that you'll post about it, then there's no obligation. And if the creator doesn't even like the product, then why would they post about it?
Right, exactly. And not saying that this is true for this creator. I actually have no idea who this person even is that the post is about. But something that is kind of well known here in Orlando is that some creators are actually not receiving a bunch of PR, but they see other creators receiving this PR. And so they choose to purchase it themselves and pretend it's PR. So that is something that happens. Again, not saying that's what this person is doing because I don't know who they are, but I would just say keep an eye out on some creators that are always posting that they're getting every single PR item, because that may not be true. Not saying that there aren't people that do get that much PR, because some of the like huge Orlando creators definitely are on a ton of these lists, and like Timea said, their agency is like sending out their information to as many brands as possible, but some people do lie about it. So that is a thing that happens.
Which is crazy. Like, that is crazy, crazy work, because realistically, that doesn't make you look any more official. Like, does it make me jealous that you're getting PR and like free stuff from a brand that I would love to even be in contact with or work with? Yes, of course. But from like an outside, just like person who wants to just consume your content and enjoy your content, like, what is that doing? I don't follow people because I see that they have a ton of PR and I'm like, ooh, they get a ton of stuff, let me follow them. Like, no, I follow you for your content and for who you are, not, you know, not the stuff that you get.
Right. I mean, I feel like it's just to show off and to make it seem like they're bigger than they are, which I don't know. I just feel like that doesn't really matter, because brands will send PR to people with barely any followers if they like their content. So I don't know what they think they're doing, but they do it.
They do be doing it, that's for sure. Okay, the next one. Sorry if I am late to the party, but what is the story with Run Disney influencers cheating or cutting the course / faking their bib number? Does this happen frequently, or did it only happen during the last marathon? For context, I don't know anything about Run Disney. I am not into Run Disney. Like, I hate running personally. I could never catch me running.
If you see me running, you need to start running too, because something's
Yep.
happening.
Yeah, exactly. There's another comment kind of responding, clarifying. So if you're also not big into Run Disney, this kind of sums it up pretty well. This person said that cutting the course only really happens on longer races like the full marathon. But the big story out of this year's marathon was that this creator cut Animal Kingdom, which is about 4 miles. She stopped at a medical tent right where the course narrows, and runners heading into Animal Kingdom and out of Animal Kingdom can receive care. The sweepers passed her while she was there. Don't know what sweepers are. And she claims she was told to just keep following the course as if she had already run the park. Oh, are sweepers maybe people who encourage people to like keep going and not just like stop and lollygag around maybe?
I was thinking
Like,
it was the balloon ladies. Have you heard of them?
no.
So essentially, Run Disney, and I think a bunch of marathons do this, but again, I don't run, so don't quote me on this. But I know for Run Disney, there are these women that people call the balloon ladies because they have like big balloons, and they are pacers almost. And if you are behind the balloon ladies, that means you're not keeping pace with this Run Disney marathon says you should be at. So if you're like significantly behind them, you'll get swept off the course and you don't get to finish the course because you're too slow. So I'm assuming that is what they're talking about. So if she stopped at a med tent and like took a bunch of time there, it's possible that the balloon ladies like went ahead of her and she was too, or him, I don't even know who this person is. They were too far behind to be able to like catch back up to them, what I'm assuming happened.
So yes, but I've also heard that on Disney marathons specifically, it's like the best first marathon to go to because they don't kick you off. You can literally walk the whole thing and you'll
I
be
don't
fine.
know
Like, you don't have to run.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the case though for all of them, because I know the balloon ladies are like a very big thing at Disney and people don't finish if they're too far behind them. So maybe for
Oh.
like the shorter races, it doesn't matter as much, but for the marathon, I'm assuming, and like the half marathon, I'm assuming that they do get swept, because if someone is walking that full thing, like it'll
It would
take
take so long.
significantly longer to finish. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then this person says it can happen on shorter races depending on the course. Anywhere that the course passes itself like that can be used to cheat. So I'm assuming like where the paths kind of cross, like you have to loop back around. Sometimes people will pop into a porta potty or stop by a medical tent for a bit, then just head the opposite direction. The current courses don't have too many spots for this though outside of the marathon. In some cases, it's super easy to catch people doing this by looking at timing splits. The course will have a handful of timing mats, but unfortunately, It's not always set up to catch cheaters. The Animal Kingdom loop, for example, doesn't typically have a timing mat. Disney doesn't really care too much about this, though. I haven't seen anything about faking bib numbers, but I have seen faking corrals to get better placement. Disney will sometimes change people's corrals for whatever reason. Maybe Disney messed up proof of time or didn't give an upgrade to a Club Run Disney member, for example. But they just do this with a little sticker. If you can acquire a little circle sticker, you can theoretically change your corral. It's hard to say for sure who's cheating and who's just getting influencer benefits from Run Disney, though.
Interesting.
That's really interesting because as a Disney content creator, what's the point of cheating? To make yourself look like you're like the best runner there?
I know I've seen a lot of discourse about Run Disney influencers, and a lot of people say that cheating happens so that they can make themselves look better. Some people will even post like fake times, not knowing that you can actually go in and check what people's finishing time was, which is really funny. So if you're a Run Disney creator and you've been faking your time online, people can go in and check. But what I'm assuming is also a reason to cheat is, so Disney's marathon has a ton of character meet and greets throughout the course. There's also, if you like run in through a park, I know you can get on rides too. So I'm guessing if you're super far behind, but you wanted to be able to stop to take pictures and like meet the characters and go on a ride to like make a really cool video out of the experience, then that's probably why people are cheating, so that they can just not be swept by the balloon ladies or whoever is doing the sweeping. And that way they can like just make a better video out of it and showing that they can do all these stops and get all these pictures and whatnot.
That's wild. I had no idea this was even a thing.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of discourse around Run Disney. I know a lot of people don't really love that Disney invites influencers to this event. And sometimes it's not even Disney. I think other companies also will sponsor influencers so that they run the course for them for like charity and whatnot. But I've seen a lot of discourse about people and just even running etiquette during these courses, because from what it sounds like, it seems like a lot of creators are going on these runs and kind of disrupting the course so that they can create content and take videos and, you know, put their phone up so that they run past it. But then that's obviously messing up everybody else that's running around them. So it's interesting too that not only are they doing this while running, but then they're cheating and changing corrals to be able to like show off. Like I said, people are catching you when you do this and people notice.
Yeah, and I feel like something with running a marathon that people train for a long time before it even comes up and then fly all the way over here just to run that marathon. Honestly, I don't blame them. I would probably be pretty pissed myself if I trained for this and this was just like a goal I wanted to hit. And then I kept stumbling across creators like literally in my way and messing up my time because I wanted to get to the end, you know?
Yeah. Not only did people train for this, but Run Disney events are expensive.
Oh my God, no, they're so expensive.
So yeah, I couldn't imagine paying $300 to run a race and having to wake up so early for this to then just get stopped by a creator setting up their phone so that they can show themselves running across the course. I do hope though that there's Run Disney creators out there that aren't doing this and are genuinely just posting what's really happening and just them running and whatnot.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah. I feel like I just see more negatives than positives whenever I see one of these Run Disney posts.
Well, because that's how it normally is. Like even on this subreddit, a lot of these are going to be negative, and there's going to be like one or two positive posts each week in this subreddit, because the rest are all negative. Because like most people, if they have something positive to say, they're not going to go complain or like say something positive, which is so sad. It's so sad.
That's true.
The next one is, does anyone follow this creator? I've literally never seen a small business owner complain so much. Damn. And someone posted a screenshot example of what this creator said. I guess this creator has their own small business, and they said, today has been surprisingly slow online. So much for hashtag support small businesses, and then like an annoyed face.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that so much.
That really pisses me off.
I hate that so friggin' much.
That
because
annoys me.
I am the biggest shop small. I will highlight small businesses all the friggin' time. But as a small business owner, you cannot just go and complain all the time and expect people to buy from you. Like the whole pity marketing pisses me off. I understand getting frustrated every once in a while and you make a post just because, your feelings are high and you're obviously passionate about your business. But if this is all you're posting all the time and hoping that people look at these and are like, oh my God, let me go buy from you, that is so annoying.
I don't know though. I don't even think that it's acceptable to post something like that, even if your feelings are high. Like at the
No,
end of
for
the day,
sure.
it's your business. Your business needs to present whatever kind of, niche and vibe that you wanted for your business. But at the end of the day, it's a business. People are giving you money and you are sending them a product. So it needs to be professional. And
Yeah.
the whole pity, oh, it's not doing well, guys. Like, sales are so low. Like, I need help. Like, no, it's your business. Figure out a way to market it better. Figure out a
Yeah.
way to advertise your stuff, but don't just come on a social media platform and essentially beg for people to support like no one's going to want to support you if all you do is complain.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I completely agree. I don't think anyone should post that ever, but I understand people are like humans and every once in a while that'll happen. But yeah, the whole pity marketing thing just annoys me. And if your business isn't doing good, and this goes both for small businesses and for content creators, because I see content creators also do this and post like, oh, no one's engaging with my content, no one's doing this or that, which like there's a ton of my videos that no one engages with. And yeah, I feel awful about it, but that doesn't mean I'm going out there and posting. So my thing with this is if your business isn't doing good or your content isn't doing good, figure out what's wrong. Something is happening because either your marketing isn't good, your products or your content aren't good, you're not posting at the right time, you're not putting the right things that people want. So like figure it out. Don't just go and complain and complain and complain, but don't change anything about what you're selling or what you're posting. Like there's something wrong. You can figure it out. I believe in you. I want to support small businesses so friggin' much, but if you are just not selling things that people want or not marketing it the right way, like that's on you. And as a business owner, you need to figure it out.
Exactly. And like again, we especially in this economy, we want to support small businesses. Like
Right.
that would much rather support a small business for cute little niche things than bigger companies and corporations, of course, any day, all day, every day. Like you said, the same thing for content creators. Dude, the biggest ick you can possibly give me, or one of the biggest icks, is if I'm going through your stories and half your slides are, guys, this reel isn't doing as well as I wanted it to. Can you guys please go like and comment? Like I would really appreciate the support. Ew. I'm sorry, like no offense if you do this, but like, ew. I don't this is my podcast. I can give my opinions. It annoys me. It gives me the ick so much because as a content creator, you have to think that people come to you to like turn their brain off, to have an enjoyable fun time, to learn something, to laugh, to like have a safe space, to have a comfort creator, to do any of these things. But if you're out here and you start asking your audience for things like engagement on a reel that's not doing good, like what are you doing? Not everything is going to do good, but you begging people to make your stuff do better because it's not doing well on its own, that's on you, buddy. Like
Right.
that's not on them.
Take a
So
little
don't,
accountability for your post.
yeah, like figure it out in the back, on the side, quietly to yourself, or talk to other creator friends about it, but don't go posting it to your audience. Like, come on. I don't
Right.
know. That's just icky.
I agree. Like I said, take a little accountability for your post. And yes, could it have been the algorithm doing annoying things? Sure. But also go back and look at your video or your carousel or whatever it is and ask yourself, am I entertaining people? Am I providing value? Is this a selfish post? Like, were the first 3 seconds engaging? Or go back and look at your other content that did well and compare the two, because 99% of the time, it's not the algorithm. It's probably something with your content, which it has happened to me so many times. So many of my videos flop, and that's okay. And I just go back and I test different things and I try to learn and I try to make better content. And that's just the nature.
I feel like that's one huge misconception, is that content creation is super easy. All you have to do is just post stuff. And don't get me wrong, like the couple videos of mine that have gone viral that have definitely helped me, I'm so grateful. And it did just like fly off the rail and get a lot of views and, a lot of comments, and a lot of, people saw my video and decided to follow, and it got me reach, right? But also those videos weren't just like filmed on a whim. Like even my first video about losing my job and doing this challenge, was it selfishly for me? Yes. But the way I filmed it, the way I edited it together was also so that in hopes that it would reach, the correct people. I made sure to say certain things at the very beginning. I made sure that it was engaging in the beginning. I made sure that I used the correct hashtags in a specific order. I made sure the description was engaging. All these things went into that one video. It wasn't just, I'm just going to film this video ranting about how my life sucks right now and I'm going to post it and just fingers crossed it does well, And like you're saying, Shaneck, you have to go back and look at your other videos and you have to analyze, you have to research, you have to experiment, because if you just keep posting stuff and then you cross your fingers hoping something sticks or does well, 99% of the time that's not going to happen, because you need to put in the effort to research and analyze and edit differently and film different stuff.
And going back to the small business too for a sec here, it also annoys me that they're complaining every single day when there are so many resources in Orlando as well of ways that you can make your small business better. For one, there are a million other Disney small businesses that if you're seeing one, and again, I'm not saying to copy them, but if you're seeing that there's a handful of small businesses that are killing it every single time, you can go and see what they're doing and what is working for them. And then you can tailor it for your business. Again, don't copy them, make it your own, but you can see what's happening. There's also a ton of markets here in Orlando. I know there's one that's like a specific market for Disney small shops that they can sell out. And yes, this costs money to be able to join that market, but if you have the funds and you want to get your business in front of a ton of other people, you can see how you can get yourself into those markets and get out there and get in front of people. I feel like there's also a problem with a lot of these small businesses. Why they don't do these markets is because they're not actually creating these products and have them in their house. They have no inventory. They're just like drop shipping them. And if you're doing drop shipping, like that's on you if your business isn't doing that well.
I am so against the whole pity party thing. I hate it.
Yeah, I hate it so much.
Okay, the next one is, did this content creator really only basically do Disney in Japan? Absolutely wild to me. So for context, there's another comment and it says, she hosted 2 different group trips in Japan. I think she went to Disney with her husband first, then group trip number 1 to Disney, group trip number 1 to the city. Then a secondary group trip went to Disney, and then that same group trip also went to the city. And now Disney again, she's at Disney again 2 days later with some friends. So this creator kind of has a history, a bad history, for hosting Disney trips, essentially being a vacation planner, like a Disney trip planner, but planning out the entire trip and opening it up to her followers to buy these trips from her. So she will book everything. She'll, plan everything, pay for the hotel, whatever. And then she will open up like 10 spots, let's say, for example, I don't know the actual amount, to her followers or whoever else sees her videos and charge them a set price for that whole length of that trip. I think when one of her Disney ones, she also reached out to brands to be able to get like cute gift baskets for everyone. And she offered her photography services to help, take your pictures to make them look pretty, because she has a nice camera. I don't know, something. I think she's a photographer. I don't know. And then she also offered like her presets or something to everybody for free, but included in the price. And I think the biggest thing that came out of that previous Disney trip she held was that she charged a exorbitant amount of money for this trip that definitely, obviously, she made profit off of. And she also had people pay it in monthly increments or like in a staggered amount because it was so much money. But I think one girl ended up, I think she got in a car accident or something, one of the girls that really wanted to go and had paid part of it or had put a deposit down. It was like a family emergency situation, and she wasn't able to end up going on the trip because she needed the money to pay for the bills. She went back to that creator asking for that deposit back because she can't go, and the creator denied her and said she wouldn't give her her deposit back. And so then she obviously went to social media, because that was not okay, and made like a 4-part series explaining exactly what went down and how she's not getting her money back. I don't know how it was resolved. I don't know how it ended. I don't know if she got her money back or not, but that was like what essentially her little story time kind of blew up this whole situation and kind of made more people aware of this Disney trip that this creator was doing.
I think too at the time what people were annoyed with that particular trip was that when that creator planned it, it kind of sounded like she was going to be like the perfect tour guide to Disney. I think it was a Disney World trip at the time, or Disneyland. I can't remember, but it was one of the ones in the States. So it was supposed to be like she was the perfect tour guide. She would give you all the tips, the tricks on like what best to do, what best like rides to go on. And at the time, I think she had only ever been to the parks twice. And so people were also calling her out on that because the price of the trip was, again, a really large amount. And so people were saying, why would we pay you for all this money to be this tour guide for us when you yourself don't even really know the parks? And not like saying that she shouldn't make some profit off of this, because if she really is putting all of this work into planning a full trip for people, like that does take some time and you should make some money. But it was like a ridiculous amount at the time. I don't know what this Japan one was, like if someone has done the math on how much she would profit off of this, but I remember that first Disney one that she like went viral for was a crazy amount.
And I also think it's important to note that I think on her social media, she actually explained that she started her social media about Disney because she thought it would do the best. Like it would have the most potential to grow the fastest. And she had never even been to Disney before and wasn't even a huge, Disney adult before she started her. I mean, I'm sure she is now because how can you not love Disney? But at the time, like she literally said it, she would do like tip videos or stories, I guess, of like how she grew her content so fast and whatever. And she literally said that she had never been to Disney, didn't even like Disney, like wasn't a Disney adult, but decided that that would be the best niche to start in because she thought she could grow the fastest in that niche. So then for someone like that to start doing these trips is insane to me, because is it kind of icky that, you admitted to that, sure. But honestly, props to you for being transparent, I guess.
But then
But
to
like,
profit off of people.
but then to profit. And a lot of people, what they were saying is that there are 1,000,000,000 travel agents. There are creators who are travel agents on the side. There are stay-at-home moms with like 3 kids who are travel agents on the side because that's all they can do right now. And travel agents don't travel agents get paid, but they don't profit off of, like, they don't charge you extra. They'll do what she did essentially in planning this whole trip, like down to the literal T, but they won't charge you extra than what you would if you would just go and do it yourself,
Yeah. Yeah, I think Disney gives them a percentage of whatever the cost of the trip was, which is
Yeah.
also messed up. I have seen people that will reach out to these travel agents and essentially have them plan the whole trip and then book it themselves instead of going through the travel agent. Don't do that.
Oh, that's messed up.
Don't do that.
That's so messed up. That person put so much time and effort. So for this Japan one, someone took a screenshot of this creator's story and literally laid it out on the subreddit. And it includes, so I think that what this creator did is do a Disney trip version, but to Japan. So it says the total price would be $2,700, and you have monthly payments available, and it would be a $225 deposit and then $225 monthly to make it more manageable. And what it includes is a stay at Tokyo Disney for 3 nights, a stay at another hotel for 3 nights. Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Sea tickets are included. Gift bags for each of you provided for the first night, which she has said she tries to reach out to brands to get all this stuff for free to put gift bags together. So that's not something she even pays for. I don't know if that's true. I don't know how much she pays for, like how much she doesn't. I just know that that's something she mentioned a long time ago. I don't know if that's still how she does it. So I can't say if that's included in the cost or not. Photography of trips. So she's still doing that.
That one is crazy to me. I'm sorry. I have to stop you there. That one is crazy to me. Photography of the trip, because it's not photography by a professional photographer. Well, maybe she is a professional photographer, but it's photography by the creator. And that one's crazy to me because if I go on a trip with anybody, it's almost like expected that you guys are going to take pictures of each other. Putting this as like an extra, like, oh, you're going to get photographs taken by me. That's crazy. Maybe she is a professional photographer there. I don't know. But
I don't know either.
That one is just crazy to me.
But like, even if she is a professional photographer, okay, photography of the trip and individual photos in the Disney parks provided by, and then she puts her name and like somebody else's name.
I also want to know if these photos are edited or if it's just the photos because it doesn't say that they'll be edited.
Oh, and then it says you'll learn how to get content at the parks and get help on how to pose.
As every photographer should help you how to
Yeah, but
pose.
that would be that's not like in addition that should if again, if because we don't know anything, okay? But like if she is accounting for this to be an additional cost that she's including in the price because she's teaching you all this stuff. Do you know how many wonderful cutie girly whirly twirly pops have created videos on TikTok and Instagram teaching you the best way to pose, the best way to use your phones, like if you're on a trip by yourself, like all
Yep.
this stuff. There's so much information out there to get help. So if this is something that she would be charging for, if she does, again, I don't know, but if she did, like that would be insane.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
then another thing is all of this creator's available presets will be provided at the end of the trip to help you edit your photos.
That one's also wild because you can buy presets on Etsy. There's millions of presets being sold, and they're all sold at like no more than $5 half the time, unless it's you're buying hundreds and hundreds of them. And even then, it'll be like a $10 for the entire pack. And half the time, they're on sale, like 50% off. So the fact that this is included as like this big thing that you're getting as part of the $2,700 that you're paying is wild.
And again, we don't know if she's including this in her total price or not. Maybe she's giving them away for free, like technically, and she's not charging. I don't know because we didn't do the math. But also a really quick, like scooching back just for a second about the hotel stays. Because I was trying to think like, okay, the hotels can be kind of expensive, but also Tokyo is a fairly inexpensive trip overall, right? And so this is a 6-night trip
And
all
also,
together.
hold on a second though. This doesn't include flights.
Hold on.
At least
No, it's not including flights. I don't. At least I
because
don't see that
that's
it is.
usually the most expensive part with going to Tokyo is the flights to get over there.
Yep.
And then obviously Disney is expensive because it's just Disney, but
But Disney's not expensive. Tokyo Disney is like literally like $30 for a day ticket.
oh, that's crazy.
It's like really Tokyo Disney is literally so inexpensive, and everything in Tokyo is not expensive. Like Tokyo, you literally go to Tokyo because it's a pretty inexpensive trip, and also Tokyo is just cool AF. But it's a fairly inexpensive trip. The biggest cost is your flight always. It's usually like a $1,500 flight.
Right. Yeah, no, this literally says flight and any food/merch bought on the trip is not included, which merch I understand. I would feel like I would want some food included in this $2,700 price.
Right. Like $2,700. And I doubt that the hotels are that expensive too. If the ticket is like $30 or $40, depending when you
Right.
go.
Because
But if the day
also,
tickets are so inexpensive,
yeah, because also the hotel, am I getting my own room? Am I going to have to share with someone that's on this trip? Like,
that's what I was going to ask. Are
what's
we squishing 4 people into a one hotel room with 2 queens of like 4 strangers, or are we doing like one per bed or something and doing 2 people a room? Like
right? Because I know
how
the
much
Tokyo
money?
Disney hotels, I know a lot of times you can fit quite a bit of people into the room. Like they'll have 2 to 3 beds in one room because the rooms are bigger.
Yeah.
So if I'm sharing with someone, what am I really paying the $2,700 for?
That's what I'm saying.
This is also just insane to me. Like $2,700 for it not to include a flight. For context, I have traveled with different travel agencies. If you guys ever go on Groupon and you look at trips there, they're legit. So go ahead and book them. But I have gone to places like Thailand with flights included, with half of my food included, with hotels included. And I'm talking like 4 to 5 star hotels with tour guides included for $1,300. So the fact that this is $2,700 for no flights, no food included is absolutely insane. And not even a professional tour guide, because it does say tour guide will be provided for the entire trip, but it sounds like these tour guides are friends of hers that have just lived in Japan or have gone to Japan for quite some time. Oh no, it says lived in Japan for 10 years. So while yes, they definitely will know like where to take you and whatnot, that's not like a professional tour guide that is getting a salary that you have to pay a certain amount for. So The fact that this is $2,700 is actually insane.
Yep. Then it says transportation around Tokyo during entire stay will be provided. So, however you would do transportation there. But again, keep in mind, Tokyo is very inexpensive. Then a full itinerary planned out by myself and my friend for each day, and all park reservations, dinner plans, park tickets, and hotel bookings will be taken care of by us. So she's making the dinner plans, but you have to pay for the food,
Yeah.
and it's not included in the price. And what if,
So you can
like,
have
for
no
instance,
say on how much you're paying for your food either.
like if the dinner is going to be at super expensive places, the first thought that comes to my mind, obviously because I have 1,000,000,000 life threatening allergies, and it's like insane, like my literal first thought is, okay, but I have a ton of allergies, so how are we going to accommodate that, and how are we going to make sure we go to places that can accommodate that? Or like, what if I can't eat literally anything on the menu for one of the dinner plans? Like, what am I to do, veer off on my own and go find food? Like, I don't want to be by myself in a city I'm not familiar with. That's the
Right.
whole point of taking a group trip. So like that makes me concerned for anybody who like has allergies or anything like that, or just has dietary restrictions. And again, I really feel like every single one of these bullet points is something that she included into the total cost, because a full itinerary planned out, sure, but like that's kind of obvious. Like I would hope so for $2,700. So like at that point, why are you stating that, other than for it to be like, well, we're doing all this, so that's included in the price. You know what I mean?
This is insane.
Then you also get real life Mario Karting through Tokyo, a 2-hour one of a kind sightseeing experience included, karaoke night included, Japanese temple and other unique Japanese experiences and sightseeing included. What are the other unique Japanese experiences? Did we not have those planned out already? Like, are we just going to pick those randomly as we go? Like, is it just going to be some random karaoke night place? Like, is it going to be like some really cool, fun karaoke experience? Like, again, I haven't added up prices. I don't know how much Tokyo Disney is. I don't know how many people are getting included per room for this hotel or the other hotel. I don't know when this is. It doesn't say, but like that seems like it kind of seems like we're just doing the same thing again, and we didn't learn from the last time. Like, why are we still doing these?
Yeah, the only way this makes sense to me is if I'm getting my own room. And even then, it's still a lot. I looked it up. So the Tokyo Disneyland Hotel, which I believe is their most expensive one there. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. This is just quick Googling. But that one looks like rooms can go up to $600 a night. So even if I'm paying $600 a night for those 3 nights and I'm in my room by myself, that's still only $1,800. So where's the other $1,000 really coming in from here? If again, like this isn't including my flights or any food or pretty much anything else.
Yeah, but I doubt that you get a room per person.
That's
I
what I'm
highly
saying.
doubt that. And so let's say if it was $600 a night, you divided that by 4 and then times it by 3, that would be $450 a person for the 3 nights for Tokyo Disney. I think much more likely the case, to be honest.
Right. So then it would be that plus this other hotel plus the Disney ticket. And then what did she say? Like the go-karting and probably a little bit of a price for going into like these Japanese temples. So still, I'm seeing this as like maybe on the high end, $1,500-$1,600.
I was going to say probably like $1,500 if it doesn't include for flights, food, or merch.
Right. So where is the other $1,000 going?
$1,200.
$1,200. Where is that going?
Yeah. I don't know. Again, I don't know how she's pricing these, but like, dang girl.
You're essentially paying for her trip to Japan. I feel like that's where the gag is like she's putting these trips together, selling them as this great experience. You're paying almost $3,000 to go on a 6-day trip, and she's going for free. For all we know, her friends that are the tour guides are also going for free because that's probably where your extra $1,000-$1,200 are going to.
That's what I'm saying is aside from profiting, I feel like this is her way to get a free Japan trip
Yeah,
by doing these.
100%.
So yucky. That's so scammy.
100%. Also, what's a little weird to me is like if the flights aren't included, then people are going to be flying in at all different hours, all
Times.
different times, because obviously people are going to find like the cheapest flight and they're coming from different places. So does that mean that also I'm going to be missing out on some of these Japanese experiences because my flight gets in later than others, do I get money back for those? Do I
And and
like
also, does my transportation from my flight when it lands for myself personally to the hotel, is that included, or is it only when we go places as a group?
right? I will say when I first saw this post, the original post on it didn't mention this trip. It just kind of mentioned her going to Japan just for Disney. And my initial thought was like, oh, that's just a petty post. Like, people go to Tokyo Disney all the time and they'll fly to Japan just for Tokyo Disney. In my opinion, should you go do other things? Because Tokyo is a cool place to visit. Yes. But hey,
Absolutely.
people like to do it. So whatever. But then when someone posted this screenshot of this trip that she's putting together with the price, that's when I was like, okay, this is absolutely insane, especially knowing her track record of previous trips that she's put together. But even her previous one, or I don't know how many of these she's done, maybe she's done multiple at this point, but the first one that went viral, did that one even end up happening? Because I know a lot of people were canceling her at the time, so I don't even know if that trip came together. So do we even know if she knows how to plan a good trip?
I think it did come together because I don't know about that one girl scenario and what happened, but I think that if she refused to give her deposit back, then anybody else who's paid a deposit plus any money up until that point, I highly doubt she would have given back the money to people who just wanted to cancel it. And so I feel like at that point they were like forced to go because they've already paid her a certain amount, and they were paying a lot of money for, which with that one I think I did do the math and it was so overpriced. I don't know 100%, but I would assume the trip did happen because even if she's being canceled and all these people wanted to cancel their trip with her, like, she wouldn't allow it to happen. Just please do your research and figure out how much things actually cost before you just get excited and pay an amount. Like, just
And
do
even
your
if you want to
research.
pay the amount, just because it's easier to do that than having to plan your own trip, I also get that. But maybe let's look at the track record of the people that we're paying.
Do some research again.
But if you're actually someone who either paid for this trip or has gone on her previous trips, can you please DM us? Because I genuinely want to know, was the trip good?
Yeah, please DM us. I do want to know too. Okay, moving on. This one says, I know they probably won't, but I'm hoping literally anyone will use today's economic boycott to encourage shopping small and maybe not post a Parks merch haul or some dumb TikTok shop crap.
Did that happen? Probably
I,
not.
no, but I fully agree.
Yeah, I think the big thing with that post specifically was the fact that there was an economic blackout on, I don't even know what day it was. It was the Friday before. I think March 20th or February 27th was when it was. And so people were really trying to make it a thing to not shop on Amazon and not shop at Target and Walmart. And obviously, Disney is a huge business and supporting small businesses. And so I think for that one day, people should have been able to just not post their merch hauls and not post a TikTok shop link. And I'm sure a lot of people did, but did everyone? Probably not. But if you guys have the money, I understand not everyone has the means to support small because things do tend to be a little bit more expensive when you're going to a shop or when you're going to a small business. But if you do have the means to shop small, you should try. If there's either a small business online or near you, you should try to shop small. It means so much more to these small businesses that you're spending your money there than Amazon. Like, Amazon will never care if you shop with them, but a small business that could literally make or break their day and their month. So I'm the biggest go shop small person because they deserve it.
100%. And most small businesses too, you're getting much better quality items
True.
than somebody who just sells a ton of stuff in bulk and doesn't put as much time. Like, a lot of these small businesses put so much time and care and effort into their, not only their like long-term relationships with their customers, but then their products in general too. So like, it might be more expensive because, they're obviously not doing things in bulk, but you're also getting much higher quality stuff. Like, they put their heart and soul into designing this thing and building this thing or making this thing for you. So I totally agree. Definitely shop small if you can, when you can.
Yeah, and I understand not everyone can pay the extra money, but on days like
Mm-hmm.
that one where it was an economic blackout, or on Black Friday, or when you're shopping for your Christmas gifts, if you have those extra couple of dollars, go shop small.
This one says, say what you want about this creator, but she finished the half marathon and didn't get swept. I know her content can sometimes be insufferable, but 13 miles is no joke. I have good and bad things to say, just not about this creator, not about this, just like this type of snark, I guess. Because it's like, I like that they came on to compliment this creator and be like, wow, out of all of the Disney run marathon, I guess cheating and creators who are like lying and stuff, they're like, this creator actually worked for it and did a really good job. But then they say, I know her content is insufferable.
Yeah, did we need
but
to
she
say
did
that?
good. I don't know if this person who posted this snark is like, I can't let people know that I actually like her content and support it, because a lot of people don't like her content. But I do think she deserves credit. Just say that she deserves credit. No one says you have to like all of her content. No one said that you're automatically her number one fan if you post this. From a content creator perspective, like if someone were to say this about me, I'd be like, oh, thanks, I guess.
It's like a
Like,
backhanded compliment.
yeah, like thanks, I guess. So yeah, just, I guess, I don't know. Everybody is free to their own opinion and they say whatever they want on here, but that's just my 2 cents on something like that.
Yeah. That's what I meant earlier, but there's just some petty comments on here sometimes. Like you said, did we have to say that second half? You could have just come on here and been like, oh, that's actually really great that she actually put her mind to it and did it. Cool, moving on. Even if he didn't say or they didn't post that their content was insufferable, I'm sure people would have commented underneath it and been like, yeah, well, all her other content is also bad, but you didn't need to say it.
I agree. Some of these are pretty brutal. And I also know, by the way, if you're on here posting, just know that all the creators you're posting about, majority of them also know and are aware of this subreddit and are seeing it. Not that like that should mean you don't call someone out if they're doing something bad, but just know like they're reading all of these. So
What's funny though is that some people I think do know that their creators are reading it. Because I have gone on here before and seen someone post like, oh, did you see that they literally changed the content that they're posting because of this post? Like they changed it in the exact way that the post said that they should have changed it. So
oh, that's funny.
I think that's hilarious.
Okay, this next one says, this creator, this is another Run Disney one, but this one is like, has a ton of comments and replies on it. And it says, this creator giving advice on training for Run Disney is insufferable. Someone take her camera away, please.
Oh no.
And oh, yeah. So I did a little bit of digging on this because it had so much back and forth that I was like, okay, what's actually happening? And I can't confirm, but I'm like 99% sure this creator that they're talking about was sponsored by Disney. So Disney paid this person to go do the Run Disney Marathon and advertise it, obviously, because they're getting paid for it. Mm-hmm. So again, not 100% confirmed, but I did hear one of that creator's friends, I think, or someone had dropped the ball that this creator was sponsored by Disney. I would assume that if they're sponsored, that means they're getting paid. And potentially not. Potentially Disney could have just been like, hey, do you want to work with us and go do this Run Disney for free? And you just post about it. That could have been the case too. But either way, it was in collaboration with Disney. And this creator specifically, I don't think ever does anything regarding fitness at all or running or anything. And so I think a lot of people here are mad because apparently she lied about running it, but then actually intermittently ran and walked. I also don't think she would have gotten swept because if she's working with Disney on it and Disney just wanted her to go and make content,
Yeah.
It's less about her doing the run. But like a lot of people said, like one person says when she started complaining about like a certain body part that was hurting, it was obvious in her video she didn't even run. She was just walking and then would say she ran. All the dramatics, I can't. And then someone says that she said that she needed to rot for the rest of the day because she was so exhausted. And then other people are like, okay, I ran this whole marathon and then went to go to the parks after and did a full day. Other people are saying that she arrived so late to her corral that it almost closed on her and that they felt bad for the other runners in the corral.
Yeah, I guess my initial thoughts on this is if you've never posted running content and even just working out content before, your initial post about this race should not be giving people tips on how to run or even on how to run this particular race, especially if they've never run Disney before. I feel like there's a million other posts that you can make about this. However, if Disney is either paying you or you're being sponsored to be there by Disney, I can understand having to make a million posts, even if Disney didn't ask for it. But like, obviously, you want to be a good partner to them. So I can understand having to make a million posts and just kind of coming up with different ideas on what the post could be. But I don't think it should be a post on how to run. And I feel like that would just give me a little bit of the ick if I saw that.
Yeah, I agree. I understand if she is a full-time content creator and this is something she's getting paid for, this is her job, right? This is like her livelihood. This is where she makes her money. So if it was a great sponsorship that she couldn't pass up, plus her content revolves around Disney, so how could she not accept, a sponsorship with Disney or collaboration with Disney? I completely understand that, and I'm like all for that. Where I think that she went wrong is unless Disney specified, which in that case, like obviously she won't be able to defend herself and say that Disney told her to say these things because it'll most likely be in a contract she's not allowed to talk about. But at that point, that might have been on her or her agent to be like, hey, yeah, but Bestie here has never run a day in her life. So I think that her audience may take this the wrong way. And that's when you kind of need to start speaking up for yourself with brand collaborations and sponsorships. Maybe give a few suggestions of other content you think would do better with your audience specifically when it comes to a sponsorship or a collaboration. Let's say if that were the case. But if she came up with this herself to say like, oh, this is exactly how you train, like there are people who are training for months, again, a year before their marathon or whatever. So for her to give advice on something she doesn't know about was definitely a bad way to put it. I would have been like, this is my first time going to Run Disney. This is my experience as a first timer. And then talk about all of the really cool experiences, all the things that Disney offers. Don't just show up and be like, okay, cool, I'm going to go and film and these are the ideas I'm going to do and then make a video and call it a day. I think that's where we went a little bit wrong. We should have focused it more on being a first timer and not having experience running, but like not having that experience. Here's what it's like as a first timer. Guys, it's not as daunting as it seems. Like some people are scared to do Run Disney because that sounds like a marathon is terrifying. I would change my content to make people want to do it who are scared to do it.
I also think though that showing up so late that you're affecting other people's race is so wrong and so entitled.
Oh,
And
that's so rude too.
yeah, and just because you're getting sponsored by Disney, that does not give you the right to affect other people's race. Although the one thing from that post, and I hadn't seen that post, so I don't even know who the creator is, but if it's who I think it is, I believe that person only did the 5K and not the full marathon. That is one of the races that people walk for a lot of it. So the fact that people are snarking on her for that, I think that part is a little bit messed up because I think the 5K is that race for beginners where most people do walk a lot of the time, especially if she was making content. She probably was stopping to talk to the characters and kind of really experience that race. So I don't think that is something that she should get snarked on for, but showing up late, affecting people's races, creating posts that don't even make sense for her, that I think is a bit of a valid snark.
It's like maybe she had a 1 month heads up, like, hey, actually last minute we have some spots still. Do you want to come and make content for us? And that doesn't mean she can't be transparent. She can be transparent. She shouldn't lie about things. That 100% is true. But she's still doing this as a living.
Although I think it's also a little messy on Disney's part if they did reach out to her, because there are so many Run Disney content creators that make content for every single Run Disney event. So I almost wish that opportunity had been given to somebody like that.
That's all the juicy tea for this week's stuff on Blog Snark, which was kind of crazy. But let us know what you think about some of these in the comments, or DM us, if you have tea or extra insight on any of these, because we'd love to address those anonymously in like next week's episode or whatever. Or if you want to come on as a guest and you have anonymous tea you want to share, DM us for sure.
Yes, please let us know. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think people should be getting snarked on for these things? We want to know all of your thoughts, and we'll be back next week with even more of this because this subreddit never ends. There's new stuff that people like to complain about every single week. So we will be back giving you guys our ideas and thoughts on all of it next week.
All right, besties, I can't wait to talk next week. Bye.
Yes, we'll chat again. Bye, guys.